guys. This one has, this video is about shading, okay? I am going to show you different mediums and how to shade with them. Now, this is not, I'm not going to use this title on a layout. This is just showing you what you can use. I've pulled out distress watercolor pencils, distress crayons. I've pulled out some Montmartre watercolor. I've pulled out some distress oxide inks. I have pulled out a stack of different things. These are distress. Now, before everyone gets all thingo about the fact that I'm using all distress oxides and they don't have any oxides, I'll also bring in some distress ink. How about that? So we'll use some of that as well, and I'll show you how to blend on each individual letter. I'm going to zoom you in a bit so you can see the process up close and personal. How about that? Okay, I'm going to keep bumping that, aren't I? Right, how are we going to do this? I know how we're going to do it. Wait, but wait, there's more ideas. I have so many ideas that I want to share with you, and I just don't know what is the best platform for being able to do it. So I'm going to pull these off this giant mat because I'm going to keep running into it and it's going to move and it's going to annoy you guys. So give me half a shake. What you saw me, if you checked out one of the other videos, how to cut a large title that is good for shading, and this is following on from that, so you can see how to do the shading. Okay, got to leave that one there because there's one more video left on that one. Okay, so now this is an old Cricut mat. Okay, this is, you can see it's all warped. I've used heat on it. It's just old. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I do, when I'm doing a larger cut file, I'll pull out my press and seal, and this is an old mat, but there's just enough stick to it that it holds the press and seal down. And what I do is I just go like that, and then it holds my letter. It holds the letter, and then you can paint it. But I don't want such a big mat. And this one is literally on its last couple of uses because it's all warped and bendy and, you know, not the easiest thing to blend. Now, I also cut a shadow with these as well. So, a shadow, an offset for these. So, if we need to, we can use those to show the blending as well. And I did cut them out because I need to show you guys how to do some different sorts of blending. Now, I will probably have to re-stick those as I go. As you can see, it's all warped. Now, let's start off with I'll start off with this sort of drier methods first. These are my, now, I'm going to make it crystal clear. These are my Distress Oxide ink blenders. These are my Distress ink blenders. They actually are different colors if you look at the side. So my inks are blue and these are, there's a reason for that. Because you can use Distress ink blender and then go on top of an oxide, but you can't go the other way because if you use that blender on these ink pads, it will ruin them. So you have to have a separate set for them. I also have separate ink blending tools off to the side that I use for my Distress inks as well. And the way you can tell they are different for me is my oxides have an O on the back. It's actually just a sticker. It's just a hole reinforcer on the back of them. And my inks don't. And never shall the two combine because, you know, ink pads are expensive. All right. Let's do direct ink to the letter. Let's do that. So you can use your, I'm going to try and stick all in this sort of same faded jeans speckled egg look so you can kind of compare them. So I'll pull out my Speckled Egg and Faded Jeans Distress ink, not to be mistaken with the Oxide. Another good way you can tell in my house is which one's which. I only have the minis and the inks because, to be honest, once I bought the Oxides, I did put off buying them, but I tell you what, they are amazing. Absolutely love them. Okay, I love these two. I love everything. I love all my crafty supplies. Some I use a lot more than others. So this one is Speckled Egg. Now I'm going to just go in directly to the letter, just like that. So now this is Distress ink. This is translucent, okay? So this is not going to give you the same opacity as a Distress Oxide, okay? Because it's a translucent ink. So you can blend these guys like this and then just come in with a brush on top and boom, bada bing, look at that. You've got yourself a blended S. That was not a fluke. If you want me to prove it was not a fluke. So that's it. Oh, now you're out of now I'm out of shot. I've zoomed in so far, but that's okay. All right, so that's the Distress ink. That's using the Distress ink direct to matte, direct to surface technique. Now I'm going to show you, so that is super duper simple, okay? Do you want to see it again, how easy it was? I'll show you again. I'll do another letter. We will do, crikey, sticking down like there's no tomorrow. Rightio, just straight direct ink, straight down, couple of swipes. I've never re-inked these, by the way. These are directly, this is still exactly what I bought in them. And then once you do that, just go like that across the center with an ink blending brush, and bazinga, you've got yourself another letter that matches that one. Super duper simple. So that's your Distress ink direct to ink pad. Next one, what do we want to do? We can use the Distress ink again. I have a, all right, how am I going to do this? I've zoomed in so far. I have to zoom back out a little bit. I just don't have enough room. Okay. I have, maybe I can just put it there. That might work. I'm going to put it here. So you can use Distress, so there's some Speckled Egg, and here's a little bit of Faded Jeans, and you can come in with a brush with a little bit of water and use it just like a watercolor, and you will get a different effect. This is just the cheap Poppy Crafts 240 GSM cardstock. It is not, I'm not using a lot of water here, guys. There's a little bit, but there's not a lot. I'm just using a Montmartre No. 2 brush and just a tiny bit of water, and take it across, and you can give yourself to blend it. Add a little bit of water, a little bit, not that much, just a tiny bit, and see how it just blends it a little bit better, and it'll get it to run top to bottom, and it'll blend between the two, just like you would if you were using watercolor. Okay, if you want to come in because you've diluted the bottom a bit too much, and as soon as you touch that water, you'll see it will just zoom back up the water, so it will be all good. That way you can get a nice blend with your Distress watercolor inks. Now I'm feeling like there's probably not enough up the top. Just add a tiny touch more, because as soon as you touch that water, it's going to blend, and that's how you can use your Distress inks as a watercolor to blend, right? Now I'm going to get that off there because I'm going to put my arm in it for sure. Okay, so that's that one. This is going to be slightly longer, guys, this bit, okay, because I want to show you a stack of different techniques, okay? That's why I cut so many letters out. Next one, so that's Distress Ink. Doing it like that, doing it like that. What was the other one I wanted to do? Can't remember. We're not going to stew on it. I had things written down and I've left them out there. You can also use your ink blending brushes and the finger daubers, I mean. Oh, I don't use this one very often, and this was one of the problems that I had with these minis and my hands. I've got really bad arthritis, guys, and it sort of takes me a bit to get them open. So you can use your finger daubers to get, I just find doing it like this is just a little bit slower, but no harm, no foul. And I feel like I get more of a colour payoff when I just do it direct. So, So there you go. So that's the ink blending with the daubers. You get a similar result, but not, actually I really don't like that dark. It needs to be darker, okay? I can't leave it like that because it's not a fair comparison if I don't put the same sort of amount of ink on there. There we go. So there's a couple of different ways you can use your distress inks, right? Now I'm going to move on to a slightly different, I just have to move a couple of things out of the way, guys, because I have so much right next to me, because I want to show you how to use them. Now, Distress Oxide. What's the difference between the inks and the oxides? Oxides are a combination of, it's a combination of two inks. It is a pigment ink as well as a dye ink. So it's got the same as this, but it's got pigment added to it. So that makes it, the opacity, a lot more. Move my inks, my ink blenders out of the way, or I'll end up using those as well. Okay, so when you use these guys, they are much more opaque. So when you come in with it, you can see immediately the payoff. I'm just using the finger dauber method first because I just grabbed that one first. It was just easier. And I will come in with, where's Faded Jeans gone? I thought I had one for Faded Jeans. Maybe, maybe not. Then you come in with the, see how they look much creamier and they go on a lot smoother. Generally to blend, I use the lighter one over the top of the darker one to get a good blend. And then I just wipe my brush, my dauber off, or brush, or whatever one I'm using. So that is how we blend. So you can see that one was in line with that one. So that was the daubers. Now I'm going to show you direct to surface with the oxide ink. It's a lot harder because I've got I'm using 3-inch ones. So it's easier with the mini daubers to do that, or the mini ink pads, because then when you get to something like this, you just got to smoosh it a bit. Now I have ink on my finger. Don't mind my chair rocking in the breeze there. Okay, it's direct to, but I'm just going to use a mini blending brush just to smooth it out. So all the ink's on there. It's all juicy. It's super thick and lush. So you're going to get a really good smoosh. This is not a technique that I use very often. I will be honest with you guys. In fact, you probably hardly ever, if ever, seen me do it with the oxides. I have done it with the inks before, but yeah. Now I'm doing this because I'm going to do the watercolouring with the oxides because it is different. Okay, I'm just going to grab some of this first and blend this a little bit better, just so it's a fair comparison. But you also need to see how hard it is to do it this way. You end up with a good result, but it's a bit more fiddly, but it's nice and solid as well. So that was direct 2. I did 2 letters. I'm not going to do 2 letters with the oxides. I just wanted you to see that it really was as easy as it seemed. Sorry, I need a mouthful of water. Right, next we are going to use it like a watercolour. So I'm going to use the same brush I used before. I'm going to come in. Now notice as soon as I wet it, it becomes oxidized. So it then will leave a very chalky finish. Some people like that, some people hate that. I love using it as a medium, but I'm not a fan of touching it afterwards. That chalk feeling for me is ugh. But you see how much I use it, because as a medium it is divine. It gives you the most beautiful results. As you can see, once you wet it, it almost lightens it a little bit. It's not technically lighter, it's just because it's as a watercolor. The Distress ink does the same deal. And then just blend the two again the same way. Grab some water on the end of your brush, not too much. And if you just put it here in the center, can you notice how it just gushes towards one another? And that way you get a good even blend. Again, if you want to come in with a bit more ink here, remember, there is no right, there is no wrong. Someone else may do a technique similar to this. I don't own the technique, neither does anybody else. It's just you do what makes you feel good. If that makes you feel happy, go for it. That's what I reckon. You know, this craft is meant to be a happy, good space. So this one here, I will pop off to the side. I'm going to clean up these oxide inks. Now, you've seen me blend oxide inks before, possibly, maybe actually. That was a bit of an assumption now, wasn't it? Sorry, I'm just moving these guys up so I've got room for the next one. So you can also use your ink blenders, these tools, or the mini blenders. You can use them as well to get an ink blend. I will show you that. We start off with a light color. Oh, try picking up some color, Karen. That would be, oh no, that was my ink one. Oh dear, I've just wrecked that brush. So it's going to go in water so I don't accidentally use it again. This is why I don't keep my inks out here. So that's the problem. Okay, it's going to be fine. Pull out my oxide brush. That might make life 1,000 times better. And then I haven't put that on my little, couldn't work out why it wasn't coming out. It was coming out like ink, not like oxide. So oxide inks, the one thing I love about them the most is the fact that they are buttery. They are, and I know you hear people say that a lot, buttery is a great description of how, you know when you cream butter when you're making a cake and then you go, oh, okay, it's reached that point where it's starting to go white and it's that really soft silky. That's what these inks are. If you're sitting on the fence thinking, oh, I don't know if I'd like them, well, I'm here to tell you, I was exactly the same. If Tina still watches my videos, she will know how much she said to me, just do it. Just do it. You'll love them. You'll just do it. And I did, and I have not looked back because these are divine. I'm just going to use the mini blending brush in the center just to do a bit more of a blend there. There we go. So that is ink blending directly with a brush with the Distress Oxides. Now, let's do, running out of letters. Never, trust me. We'll never run out of letters. How many minutes are we in? We are 21 minutes in. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple that are a little bit quicker. I want to show you these. These are the Distress crayons. Now, I'm not sure if they still make these. I think they do. I think you can still get them. I'm not sure. But if you colour in these are creamy as. These colours are absolutely stunning. So this one's Peacock Feathers, and that was Mermaid Lagoon, I think, from memory. Yes, Mermaid Lagoon. I don't pull these out anywhere near enough, hey? Really don't. Now you've got two options. These are water soluble, and that is something I need to mention with the others as well. They are water soluble, which means they react with water. Now, I could use my finger, but because I'm going to be making other blends, I'm going to use a brush. Now, I'm using a flathead. This is a number 7 flat brush from Montmartre. Love me Montmartre. And when you wet it, the creamy just spreads. So you can do that with it, and then you come in, just flipping the brush over. So it's still got water in it. Apologies for the dogs barking next door. Must be getting a delivery. And that's how easy it is to get a blend using the Distress. I'm going to put it down there so you can see it better. So that's two different colours. That's Peacock Feathers and Mermaid Lagoon blended beautifully with the Distress watercolour crayons. Water reactive crayons, I should say. Water reactive pigments, and they're called Distress crayons. Good Lord. Okay, get that out of my mouth. Now, I also want to show you the Distress watercolour pencils. You can get watercolour pencils from so many different places. I've swatched them all out on the cardstock that I use. Tim Holtz recommends that you always swatch on the substrate that you are going to use the most. This is my cheapo cardstock from Craft Online from Poppy Crafts. Now, give me a colour. I'm sick of looking at blue. Let's do purple. Let's do two different purples. That'll make a nice easy blend, won't it? So you can do, I'm just going to show you, you can obviously use these as a pencil, and these are pigmented. Like that whole thing, this entire pencil is pigment, the whole thing. So I have a couple of different ways I like to use them. One as a pencil like this. I usually do it on the side like this so that I don't break the tip off, and I do it like that. Then I come in with some water. I'm going to use the same flat brush I used before. It's the number 7 Montmartre one, and if you wet it, it will react to the water and you will get yourself a beautiful, nice watercolor blend. That's how easy that is. Just going to put some up the top. Why not? we'll get a slightly different blend. So that is how you can get watercolor pencils to blend beautifully for you as well. Super simple. Another thing you can do with the watercolor pencils is, I'm not cleaning my mat off, and I'm just thinking I'm gonna, oh, did you see that? I just stabbed myself really bad. Ow, that really hurt. Okay, bring you in. Now the other thing you can do with watercolor pencils is you can wet them and use it that way. Now I'm going to show you how long I stick this in my murky water. Apologies, it's pretty gross. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Shake off the excess, and then boom bada bing, you have got juicy, 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 and I'm just rolling it around in my hand to get all the juiciness off. And check out the color payoff when you do it like that. That is how I love to use them, because you get massive, like look at the difference between that and that. They're just not even the same. 1, 2, 3, that's it. That's all you need to do. And then it just soaks into the pigment and gets it going. And you just roll it around, and it is just beautiful. I absolutely love these pencils. I know they're not in a price point for everybody. I know that Uniquely Creative actually have watercolor pencils as well. I have seen those, and they're woodless ones as well. I have not tried them, but I know they do have them. Then you can just put these back in their tin, just like that. I usually just leave the lid off for a little bit, but they're fine. Honestly, sometimes I leave it off, sometimes I don't. I'm making a mess at the moment, so guaranteed I'll drop them. So I'm closing it up. So that is the watercolor pencils, and that is the difference between that one and that one. Now you could, if you want to, see how it's dried a bit mottily, you can come back in and just smooth it if that bothers you. So you can still come in, and the amount of pigment is just nuts. So you can do that if that is what, if that's what you want. I keep running into it because it's all warped. Right, next that I wanted to show you. Now, you may not have distress, anything, right? You might not have the budget, you might not have the storage, you might not have access to those products. So let's do a cheapie. Totally affordable watercolors, just normal watercolor paints. These are, that needs to go in the bin. These are the 2-layered ones. I have a couple. Got a couple of Klingons here, people. Hang on a sec. Ugh, get back down there, George. Get in your tray. So this particular set is from Montmart, and you get a lot of colours. I like it because it gives me the cyan route, and it gives me the primary colour route, which allows me to make more colours when I'm doing that sort of thing. But when it comes to doing titles, it doesn't have to be the end of the earth. Grab your water mister. That's all you need to do. Ideally, I should have done that just before, so this video was slightly shorter for you. But you know, we live and we learn, we remember. A makeup brush. You can blend with a makeup brush, people. That's all you need. Go to Kmart and get yourself a $2 brush, and I haven't cut this one off, and it's got some glue on the end. Give me half a shake of a dog's hind leg. Sweet as Baz. Rightio. Now, just dip it into your paint. It's just watercolor paint. It's not the end of the world. And you can just put the watercolor paint down like that. Now that is so easy. You can't tell me you can't do that, right? Everyone can do that because the sponge is doing all the work for you. You could get a second sponge. I'm being lazy and I don't want you to sit here forever. So then I'm going to come in with a darker one on the bottom, and boom, bada bing, you've got yourself a letter. And it is done. It is blended. If you want to blend it ever so slightly more, again, come in with your brush and just, you know, you can do that. You can do whatever you want. It's your letter. I'm going to come back in with some more because here we go. That's a little bit better. Just blend it out more. Blend, 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 as they say on what do you call it? TikTok. Saw this girl the other day and she was doing some makeup and she was going blend, 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 blend. And I'm like, oh my Lord, I don't have time in my life for that. Okay, I don't wear very much makeup, guys. Occasionally when I'm going to put my face on here, but I'm not at the moment because I've got sunspots that I'm dealing with. Okay, so you can do it with a blending thing like that. You could use watercolors. You could do it with that. You could do all sorts with your watercolors, okay? Blending with one of these makes it super simple and you get a beautiful gradient. These are not super expensive. I think they cost me about 14 bucks from the $2 shop. The one near me that I like to shop at, there's one at Beachmere that's really, really good. And there is one at, I don't know why that's not going back on. I apologise. I'm becoming wayward with that. It's okay. I don't know what is happening. Oh, I know what's wrong with me. Okay, for everyone that was just screaming at me through the what's her name, it's okay. I'm awake. I'm alive. I was really sick yesterday, actually. I was really sick yesterday and I'm not 100% still today. Can you tell? Can you tell? Okay, now the last one I was going to show you was going to be pens. I have got myself, okay, first things first, can we just admire the cup from Bobby? Oh my God, it is beautiful, absolutely stunning. Thank you so much, Bobby. I love it and it is the best thing ever because it's nice and colourful. It's on my desk and it holds my pens. Now, you've got two options in this particular cup. You've got alcohol ink or you've got Posca paint pen. You've got two options there. You can blend with either of them. I'm going to blend two colours that are super simple. Let's go, turquoise is a B. I didn't know how to do these, guys. FYI. So P, B, V, the weird numbers. They actually go with, so all these B's go together. They're all the blue tones. In case you didn't know that, in case you're like me and you're a little bit on the vague side, whoops, that's okay. We live and we learn. And when we do this, I'm just going to use this to test because I'm going to do it on this as well. Dun, dun, dun. These have two ends on them, by the way. These ones are the Montmartre ones. There we go. Okay, well, hang on. I will just check this one. I have swatched these out. See, that one's more blue. Okay, we're going to do these. So we're going to go with the darker one on the bottom. I always do the darker colour on the bottom. Can you see what I'm doing there? I am not a alcohol marker person. I don't use them much, as you can obviously just tell because of what I just said. But I'm getting there and I want to play with them. I want to see if I can do anything and sort of work with them. Something I've learnt though, the thing with alcohol markers is you layer them up. You do a layer and then you come back and you do another layer. Now this is also where you blend better. I always thought you used a light alcohol marker to blend. Not necessarily. Some of these you can just layer them up like that. Check it out, isn't it great? Oh, I thought I just broke that then. See how it's blending it out, but you're using the same color tone. I didn't know that. So, and you can just darken it up as much as you want. And you use your lighter tone to help yourself blend it out. And you get a really good blend. Isn't that cool? So then you can have alcohol markers on your list of things to perfect over the Christmas holidays when you've got nothing else to do. So there's your alcohol blending. That is how simple that is. I am going to do another video for you showing you how to do good blends on like flowers, to show you how to do that as well. Now you can always just go in with some, am I going to do that? Yeah, sure. Okay, look, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it just for you guys. With your Posca paint pens, you can buy them in glitter, you can buy them all sorts of things, right? So you can obviously do the blatant obvious and just colour in with them. Haven't used this one much, it's a new one. These ones are, I don't normally colour much with my paint markers, but once they get flowing, it's not a problem. I find if you just do lines down, don't go back up when you're laying your colour down. Okay, so now the thing is, these guys are opaque, right? But this puppy is not. This one is a glitter marker. So this one's going to give you lots and lots of shimmer on your letters. And oh, wow, whoops. That's a big whoops. I apologize. It's me. It's this is what it is. Oh boy. Oh, and I just did it again. Okay, we're just going to spread that out and make that look like we meant to do it. Look, normally I wouldn't have pressed it like that, but we live and we learn. Win some, you lose some. Maybe I should make that in the outtakes. I'm thinking about starting to do some of those. I'm just going to do that just to get, yeah, that's better. To get it down. So you can see what I've done. So the bottom is all shiny and shimmery. And that's a stack of different ways, different mediums that you can blend with to get all different results. Let me know what you think. Which ones would you like to try? Which ones do you think I should do more often? Which ones would you like to see me do more often? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. I will chat with you again real soon.